our seats on a routine flight home from Seattle to Dallas. Yet, as the plane took off out of the blue, I couldn't breathe. My heart felt like it was pounding out of my chest, and as hot as it was, I felt a cold sweat breaking out on my skin. And that's when the unthinkable happened. There was only room for one thought in my head. I have to get out. Forget that the plane is already airborne. I unbuckled my seatbelt, made a rush for the cabin door in an attempt to open it. Several people leapt up to restrain me. They dragged me back to my seat, all the while screaming at the top of my lungs, "Land the plane! Land the plane!" Of course, the flight attendants didn't know what to think. They could only see I was overcome with fear. They kept saying, "Don't worry, flying is perfectly safe." When the truth was, I not only didn't have a fear of flying, I was a pilot myself, only a few flight hours from becoming licensed. My wife, even more confused and alarmed than the airline staff, could only try to comfort me as I suffered for 4 hours, pushing my head against the metal part of the seat, hoping it would hurt enough to drown out the feeling in my head that was so much worse than physical pain. Finally, by the time the plane landed, the feeling of terror was gone. And the minute I got off that plane, I swore to myself, whatever the heck that was, it can never happen again. No matter what it takes, I need to figure this out. Now, call it fate, or the universe, or whatever you may believe in. As I'm standing there by the arrival gate, still dazed from the whole experience, a woman with a soft Irish accent approaches me and says, "Sorry to bother you, but I was on the plane and I saw what happened." Mortified by what people on the plane must think of me, I assumed she wanted to give me a piece of her mind. I could only stammer, "I'm so sorry. You must feel like slapping me for what happened up there." Instead of letting loose like I half expected, she smiles at me, calmly hands me a business card and says, "No, I'm not mad at you. In fact, I think I know what you're going through because I experienced it myself. And if you're willing, I know an amazing therapist named Anna Gibson Steele who can help you right over the phone. Here's her number." What would you have done? Would you have been smarter than me and called the number on that business card right away? Or would you have done the same thing I did? Politely tuck the card in your pocket, thank the stranger for her kindness, and call your physician for the soonest possible appointment. As it turned out, my doctor couldn't see me for 5 long days. Doesn't sound like a long time to wait. However, over the next 48 hours, I had not 1, not 5, but 19 terrifying panic attacks. These attacks were coming out of nowhere, and when I least expected them. Like when sitting on the couch watching TV, reading a book, and worst of all, even in the middle of the night. I knew I wasn't going to make it 5 whole days, and even then, I was pretty sure what my doctor was going to say. "Take 2 of these as needed." What I needed was an immediate solution. So one night, after bolting awake out of a deep sleep, convinced I was dying, I dug that business card out of my wallet and dialed the long international number, not even thinking about the time. Yet, after just 2 rings, I heard a soothing Irish voice say, "Hello, this is Anna Gibson Steele." I felt such relief. I just started talking, and everything came out in a rush. The airplane disaster, the kind stranger, and the waking nightmare I'd been living every day since the day I took that flight. And what she shared with me on that call, the same 60-second technique I'm now passing on to you with her permission in just a moment, was so simple, it might seem almost too good to be true, until you try it. Because it flies in the face of the lies we've been fed about panic and anxiety for years by pharmaceutical companies with billion-dollar advertising campaigns, and even repeated by well-meaning doctors and therapists. The biggest of these lies, Anna told me, is that you need a prescription pill, or that panic and anxiety are all in your head, and that if you try hard enough, you can just talk the panic away and get over it. If you've heard these lies yourself, they may have made you feel the same way I did by the time I talked to Anna, that you're weak, or there's something wrong with you, or even that you're losing control of your mind and you might end up losing control of your life if it gets any worse. You see, Anna explained, the root cause of your attacks is buried so deep, no amount of talking and no pill will ever make it go away. I was getting curious. Where is it then? I asked. Well, have you ever had the hiccups? She asked. Of course, I laughed. Well, she said, your panic attacks are triggered in the same part of the brain as hiccups. And it's this subconscious part of your brain, an ancient area scientists call the lizard brain, the part that contains the primitive survival instincts passed down over millions of years of evolution. You mean like fight or flight? I asked. Exactly, she said. It's called the fight or flight response, and it's automatic. So when something truly dangerous or scary happens, you can react without even thinking about it and save your life. Okay, that makes sense, I said. So then why would my lizard brain start freaking out when I'm not in any real danger, and I'm not even afraid? Like when I'm watching TV or sitting on a plane going home from vacation. She continued, well, that's because sometimes, for reasons the brain scientists don't fully understand yet, your survival instinct goes haywire and triggers feelings of intense anxiety and panic even when there's nothing threatening you. Anna went on to tell me that because your survival instinct is buried deep in your lizard brain, it's not only not your fault that you get panic attacks and feel overcome with anxiety. In fact, the only way to get relief is to find a way to control that most primitive survival area of your mind. That's because it doesn't respond to thinking or talking. It doesn't understand psychology or self-help books. And even the most powerful drugs only mask your symptoms for a little while. To get rid of your panic attacks, she said, you need to start speaking your lizard brain's language. Just imagine, Anna said, if you got the hiccups, which are really just another kind of glitch in the same ancient part of your brain, would you try to reason with them? I laughed. No, of course not. I'd hold my breath or swallow a glass of water upside down or something. Well, she said, obviously panic and anxiety is more serious than a case of the hiccups, though you can get relief the same way, by using your body to send the right messages to your brain, making it do what you want. She had my full attention now. So you're telling me there's literally something I could do that's as fast and simple as getting rid of the hiccups that can relieve these panic attacks I've been having? She could tell I was skeptical, so she simply said, let me show you. Right then and there on the phone, as I sat on the living room sofa in the dark, she walked me through a simple technique that took her about 20 minutes to teach me, and only 60 seconds for me to put into action every time after that, whenever I felt a panic attack coming on. A deceptively simple yet powerful secret that allowed me to get practically instant relief on command. Something that you can do absolutely anywhere, at any time, so subtle that no one around you will even notice you're doing it. And you might be wondering, just like I did, how can something so simple really work? And will it work for anybody? Will it work for you? As Anna revealed to me, not only is the secret behind her unique 60-second panic solution based on cutting-edge science, it's been known to ancient Chinese medicine, Buddhist monks, and Indian yogis for thousands of years. Because, as she explained, there's a powerful connection between your mind and body, specifically your thumb and index finger, and the most primitive part of your brain that triggers your survival instincts. People who practice body-mind exercises like ancient yogis have known this amazing connection has existed for a long time, Anna said. And now, scientific research is catching up. In fact, Anna combined recent scientific breakthroughs in fields such as embodied cognition and neurophysiology to create the core principle behind the 60-second panic solution, a principle she calls neuroactivation therapy. And what this means for you is that Anna has taken the best research, tested and proven in peer-reviewed journals, and turned it into practical methods you don't need a scientist or lab or a PhD to use for yourself today. Because what Anna revealed is a simple way to use your fingers and the creative power of your mind to literally deactivate certain parts of your brain that are not needed at specific times. In this case, the lizard brain that's causing your panic attacks and high levels of anxiety. The result, I can tell you, is almost instant. You can literally switch off a scary panic or anxiety attack in 60 seconds before it strikes and overpowers you. The best